92-year-old President Paul Biya is expected to secure an 8th term despite growing questions about his health and leadership. He has ruled since 1982, and critics accuse the government of suppressing credible opposition, including the barred candidacy of Maurice Kamto, with 11 fragmented challenges. Biya's continued rule appears likely, though disillusionment is rising among young voters facing economic pressure. Some still support him, citing his experience, while others express frustration over the lack of change. African affairs analysts Victor Okhai and Achike Chude join me now in the build-up to the presidential election in Cameroon. Good to have you both here tonight. Let me start with you, Achike. I mean, a 92-year-old man who has been president since 1982 is planning to contest in an area where people said from 2018 they were too scared to come out to vote. What should that tell us about the stakes in this election?
Well, the issue is that it's about Cameroon and the population that make up that country. If it were not so tragic, one would be laughing at what is going on today. And this is not a good advertisement for Africa and for Cameroon. It's not because the man is old, but it is because, everybody knows that what you have in Cameroon in the name of election is not election, it's about selection. Even the Cameroonians that are going to come out to participate in this process will be doing that with a lot of misgiving, with a lot of belief that the results are already known. And that is usually what happens in a dictatorship, where the voices of the people are not heard. So the voices of Cameroonians have not been heard for a very, very long time. Don't forget that we used to have a time limit. Cameroon used to have a time limit for presidents, but on his own, Paul Biya just went and scrapped it because he had a plan to stay there till death does him up, separates him, from that seat. The other day, the course of the campaigns and the elections, because there was nowhere to be seen, but what people were doing was to go around Cameroon with his photograph, and that is the height of unconscionable perfidy. So the stakes really could not be higher for Cameroon and for Cameroonians. Of course, you know that Cameroon has been embroiled in all manners of a crisis, especially what is going on, in the southern part of Cameroon. The reality is that we don't know whether the President Paul Biya is deluded. We don't know whether it is senility. But obviously, the daughter doesn't think much of what she's doing because she's been campaigning.
He did make a rare appearance. I intentionally went to watch it. It seemed to be lucid to a certain degree. That remains to be seen because he wasn't all around. He just showed up on rare occasions for his rally. But let's shift a bit, Victor, and look at what, there is a precedent here. Voter apathy is one thing that we saw in 2018. And then according to media reports from that same election, more than 20 separatist fighters paraded through the streets of Bamenda to intimidate voters on election day. That's just one instance. We know that some of these behaviors replicated itself. How concerned are you that this election will see a repeat of that, or perhaps the people are more invested in the outcome of this poll this time?
What is happening in Cameroon is, is rather unfortunate. There's a whole generation that have not known any other leader but Paul Biya. He's been there for well over 40 years. And it's really, really unfortunate. What you find in situations like this is, it gets to a point where even the president is held captive. You might call it dictatorship, but the real dictators are the people around the president who want to, for their own selfish reasons, perpetuate the president who I might now call a puppet in power, because he represents for them their key or entitlement to power. And if he leaves, it means they lose power. So these are the people, whether in the military or among civilians, those in the corridors of power, who will do everything to ensure that this particular character remains in power. Otherwise, at the age of 92, what else is he looking for? He's easily perhaps the oldest president on the continent right now. And then you want to ask yourself, what is he still looking for? And yet, they are prepared to vote for him till he's perhaps 100 and beyond. So, just to answer your question directly, obviously, there will be those who will intimidate voters or opposition who may want to pose a threat to their own selfish interests, not necessarily about the country, about the president, but because they want to perpetuate themselves, not the president, but themselves.
Quite unfortunate indeed.
So do everything to ensure that he stays there.
Okay, I'll stay with you on this question before I go to Achike. There are 11 other candidates aside Biya. Is there any name that stands out here that has the semblance of a chance to put up a fight for democracy?
Quite frankly, none of them. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, because opposition is like opposition. And it's a country that is also fragmented. Don't forget that it is divided along two colonial language lines, Francophone and Anglophone. And so they can't even come together to unite, to say, okay, let's pick a leader. And so the only leader that appears like one that they have known and you can call it the lesser evil, the one they can live with right now, is unfortunately Paul Biya.
All right, Achike, the last one before we go. Political watchers are saying that this election on October 12 will make or break Cameroon, this very resource-rich Central African country. What do you think about that prediction? Do they have the facts enough? Are there fears? And can that be averted? Breaking, I mean.
No. I don't know what is going to make or break Cameroon. It's not at this stage. People have resigned themselves to the inevitability that Paul Biya will probably leave the stage when he dies, in power. And so there's absolutely not going to be anything new. Cameroon is in dire straits. Cameroon is in need of a lot of help. The level of unemployment is especially among the youth, is off the charts. There is, serious infrastructural issues and the rest. Paul Biya in this campaign has been able to pass the message to the Cameroonian people. Of course, they won't believe in that. What he was not able to do when he was much younger and agile and sprite, he's going to do them. He's going to build infrastructure. He's going to do all manners of things at age 92.
I guess he has, sorry to interject, I guess he has accumulated a whole lot of experience that he will be using now. This is the best time for all the years that he has been in power. I'm just being sarcastic. Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen.